I'm your hope. You're my hope. J-Hope. Hey V-Buds, I'm back, and today I'm going to be covering a line of toys that is probably my most requested after suggestion video ever. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it is the BTS Barbies. Take a gander. After posting in my community feed asking if you guys wanted this review, I got over 600 comments. Some of them were people screaming, please, gosh, no. I'm changing some words for children. But the majority of you guys did want to see a full, honest review of the dolls. Before I begin this video, I'm just going to say I don't know very much about the actual group themselves other than their names and a bit of their style after having watched a few of their videos, which are awesome by the way. So I'm going to take my cues for this review from all of you guys because there was an overwhelming amount of questions regarding the quality of their suits, their face molds and flexibility, and most specifically their hair. Now for those of you who were like me a week ago and do not know what BTS is, they are a K-pop group that consists of 7 members, which includes this fella to the right of me, as well as these Barbie form replicas behind me. These cost $30 before tax in Canada at Toys R Us, but you can also pick them up in the States at Amazon, Target, Mattel, or Walmart for $20. All the packages have a black and white image of the group members on the back with a whole bunch of Mattel info on the bottom, which basically says that they're recommended for children over the age of 6 and not for children under the age of 3 because they do contain small parts. The front of the package is a big plastic shell with a black background and these little silver shapes patterned all over. The bottom sort of resembles a suit collar to me, one side being silver, the other being black. Right about here, in very, very faint grayish black writing, it says J-Hope. I'm not exactly sure why they didn't make it stand out more. I really wish they did, because if you want to buy these to display them and you have people coming in and you're trying to get them over to your army, you'd be like, hey, go check out J-Hope. And they're like, which one's J-Hope? And you're like, oh, can't believe you just said that. And they're like, well, come on, it doesn't say his name. How was I supposed to know? To be honest, they'd be right. That should be a bit more prominent. That was the package. In fact, that was all 7 of them because they are all the same, excluding the actual group member themselves as well as their name on the bottom. We are down at the table and I'm just going to take this time to open each of the packages. That way all the dolls will be ready for us to check out. First up, we have RM. His favorite colors are black, pink, and purple, but today in his idol attire, he is wearing a teal suit with pink and black hexagons, as well as a lime green button-up dress shirt covered in black, pink, blue, and light blue polka dots. And he's also wearing a pair of nicely detailed white high-top sneakers. Now this is the pose that RM was in straight from the box, and I'm happy to say I was able to keep him in this cross-legged position, whereas some of the others, actually all of them, I did not have the same amount of luck. The good thing about these sneakers, as well as their flat feet, is that as long as you have them in a pretty balanced position, they should be able to hold themselves upright, which is great because none of these dolls come with a stand. Here we are with our close-up. RM's hair is short and black with blue streaks in it. For the most part, it gives off an effect of having silver hair. From the front, you can see the hair does look pretty authentic. However, once you turn it, you'll be able to see how choppy it truly gets. It's like meow, meow. To be fair, if you take a brush and comb out some of this product, adding a bit more of a feathered full look, it would probably get rid of some of these harsh lines. Now, if we look beyond all that product, you will find that there is a completely rooted head of hair as well as a black painted scalp. Ooh, my fingers feel so gummy. To be honest, I don't think this is that bad, at least not from the front, and technically the back is an easy fix with a steady hand and a small pair of scissors. Now we'll check out the face and makeup, and if I were to go based on seeing this doll alone, I would say that it looks really, really nice. He has nice black eyebrows, which are not actually symmetrical. The left one has an arch, whereas the right one is more straight. His eyes are hazel with thin black eyeliner on top and light brown eyeshadow underneath. And it may be hard to tell because he has such a fair skin color, but there is a very faint dusting of blush on his cheeks. He's got a very nicely defined nose and chin, and his lips are nude and glossy with 2 dimples on the side and a small cupid's bow. He's even got a little dimple on his left cheek. Next, we'll move on to the outfit and see where it disassembles. What? No. See where we can remove it. It should be able to just come off here, but I guess they want this to be display purposes only because they've attached it to the pants. In order to remove this, we will have to cut that. And now I guess we'll be able to take off his jacket. never mind. It's actually a one-piece thing. So unfortunately, we can't just take off his jacket and leave him in his dress shirt. It's gotta be all or nothing. So I'm going to open up the front, which is attached by Velcro, put his arms behind him, and take it off. Other than being loud and crunchy and not being able to separate into two pieces, the jacket's quality is really nice. The colors are pretty vibrant and the stitching for the most part is excellent. Although if you take a look from the back, you'll see that this part here is a little wonky. The seam should be under the arm, not the back of it. Outwardly, his pants look pretty good and they match the jacket, so that's great. And the Velcro opening at the back is easy to access, and the pants themselves are easily removable. And for those of you who did want to know, he does have underwear, but they are molded into the plastic and match the skin tone. And now before we put his jacket and shirt back on, we can check out the points of articulation, which includes the head, shoulders, elbows, wrists, hips, knees, and feet. And lastly, since I have them off now, we'll check out the white high top sneakers. They're really nicely detailed with laces and stitching, as well as a white underside. Maybe they're non-marking soles. Perfect for gym class. The last thing I'm going to mention is that his legs are very stiff. This is both good and bad, because if you do want to position these to make it look like they're in the middle of some pretty cool moves, then you'd appreciate the stiff legs, because chances are he's not going to fall out of that pose. However, getting him into that pose is a whole other story. Although the fact that I can get him to do this without a stand makes me really happy. No! Maybe that one was not the best. And I forgot to mention, these dolls are 11 inches tall, so you'll notice I can't fit them completely in the frame. Dang it! Unless I put them way back here. See? Okay guys, I am nervous. I have been putting this off forever because I didn't want to say his name wrong, but I already pre-apologized. So let's go with Jungkook. John Smith. No. Okay, don't be scared. He's just a doll, Jen. He's just a doll. Point is, here he is. Now this doll here, as well as all those guys back there, will have the same points of articulation as RM did. Just like RM, our face makeup is really, really nice on this doll. I'm not going to keep saying his name because I don't want to offend everyone who knows that I'm doing it wrong. He's got very nicely sculpted brows, brown eyes with a brown eyeshadow color around them. His skin complexion seems to match RM's pretty well, which includes just a bit of blushing on his cheeks, and the overall nose itself appears a bit larger, which includes the nostrils. His lips are a pale pink color, and they also appear to be a little different, and so does his chin. It seems a little bit more defined. Here's a quick little side-by-side comparison. Now this part's gonna be a little hard to show off because their hair is covering, but these guys both have different ear shapes. And I know that a lot of you guys were concerned that the dolls would all look the exact same with the same face molds. So this right here is proof that they don't. Now is it true to life? Probably not. Are they at least different from one another? So far, yes. The last thing that I'm gonna look for on this doll here is on his left cheek to see if they included a very faint scar, which in real life was supposed to have gotten from his older brother. And it appears as though there is not one here. So although they try to add some of the characteristics of the real life idols, it seems they may be either intentionally or accidentally leaving some out for the sake of making an easier product. And now we'll move on to his hair, which although it may be hard to tell, is actually two different colors. We've got both a red as well as a light brown here. And it is very, very stiff because it's held in with a lot of product, but I am happy to report that it is a bit better than we had with RM. Going right in for a deep look, I can see that we have a painted black scalp and a lot of rooting. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen as much rooting on any Barbie or doll ever as I have on these two so far. And I'm thinking the rest are going to be like that too. His outfit consists of 3 pieces, which includes this spiffy yellow jacket with matching pants, as well as a white undershirt. He also has a black and white belt with a yellow buckle. It reminds me of houndstooth. Just like RM, his jacket is attached to his pants by 2 tiny threads, which I'm going to cut, so we can find out if his jacket will separate from his shirt, which we discovered is apparently not always going to be the case. Oh snap, would you look at that? Our jacket does in fact separate from the shirt. Once again, the jacket is a pretty stiff, firm fabric, so it sounds pretty scratchy and crinkly when you move it around, but I mean, not everybody does that, I'm a weirdo. And the inside looks pretty nicely stitched. And this one doesn't seem to be crooked like the last one, so that's good. And check it out, the collar can also flip up. Let's move his arms out of the way. Ooh, look at those muscles. And see if his shirt is separated from his pants. And would you look at that, it is. Although the belt is attached, so at least you're not gonna lose lose it. Once again, these are just attached with a piece of Velcro. I wonder how easy it would be to get this shirt off. Out of curiosity, I want to see. He's got really broad shoulders. It's not the simplest of tasks. Oh my gosh, I'm ruining his hair. All right, basically it's a plain white sleeveless tank top. I guess I really didn't need to take that off, but curiosity had me wondering if it would fit over his head and giant shoulders. And the answer is yes. But while we're here, I'll just let you know that the stitching on this looks pretty great too. And hey, would you look at that? Now we get a chance to check out his 6-pack, which to be honest looks a bit more like an 8-pack. I'm gonna struggle and put his shirt back on. So much less easy, guys. Do not do what I just did. So many of you are probably watching this and getting so angry right now because I went ahead and messed with it. I'm sorry. I'm also messing up his hair. Don't take the shirts off. Don't do it. It's a bad idea. Okay, I'll see you in 20 minutes. Wait, no, not 20 minutes. Not 20 minutes. Hold on. Let's unvelcro the Velcro. I did it. It's a good thing he's like quadruple jointed. It's fun to stay at the Y-M, whatever shape that is. Not C-A. Nope. And lastly, we have to take a quick peek at his sneakers. They're all white with a whole bunch of little details, such as tread on the bottom, extra buckles, some nice little laces, and some extra threading to make them look super cool. And in case you weren't paying attention, these are different from the ones that RM was wearing. And how easy are they to come off? Pretty great. All right, Cinderella, let's give you your shoe back. Time to pose. I tried to do the weirdest pose I could come up with just to see if he can hold it, and the answer is yes. And to be honest, I think I'm gonna make all of them have super weird positions just to see what the end result looks like. They might look really creepy on their own, but as a whole, it might look awesome. Ta-da! Come and give us a hug. I think we're gonna go with V next because I like the color of his hair, but I definitely want to comment on it. Quick reminder, just like the other dolls, our friend here does have articulation, which would be the head, shoulders, elbow, wrist, hips, knees, and ankles. Sweet! He just looks unhappy. Why are you so grumpy, V? This here is V. His favorite colors are green, black, purple, gray, and white. Just like the previous dolls, we're gonna check out V's face first. Once again, we've got some really nicely defined brows, and it looks like his nose might be a little bit of a different shape because I see more of a shadow in the crease here to make his eyes look more inset. But I won't be able to confirm that until I try a side-by-side comparison. In the meantime, I'll tell you that he does have some really nice light brown eyes with a bit of a light brownish shadow underneath to make them more smoky. His lips are a pale pink, and once again we have more of a defined chin. I'm not even going to compare it to RM's because there's no dimple, but we can compare it to this one. And there you go. V's is more of a wider shape. So although they both have a similar nose and chin, it is still different. And now we can move on to his hair, which is two different colors. The left side is a pastel pink and the right side is a blonde. And I'm not a fan of this. You guys might be. They have painted his scalp black. I have a feeling they did this so that it resembles roots, as though his hair color is coming back, but I don't think it looks all that good. Once again, all that product does make it really hard, and I feel like if you brushed it out, it would probably look a lot nicer. But if you brush it out, you also run the risk of possibly losing some of these little crimpy bits on top. So it's really a matter of if you want stiff, hard hair or a light, fluffy look. I don't know. I just like it. I purple it. He is wearing a 3-piece suit. All the other group members have matching pants and jacket. V here is just wearing some straight up black suit pants. But it does look really good with his bright red jacket, which by the way definitely reminds me of Will Smith's jacket when he turns it inside out in The Fresh Prince. I'm just saying. Just like the other dolls, the jacket is held together, so I'm gonna snip that so we can see if it does separate from his white dress shirt, which by the way has 2 very large red hearts on the collars as well as 4 black buttons. And no, sadly it is attached just like RM's was, so we're gonna have to take it off as one piece. The pants once again held on by one piece of black Velcro, no elastic, and the dress shirt opens from the front with a piece of Velcro. And I'll take that off so we can check out the stitching and quality. So far, it looks like all the bodies are the same. So it's possible they all have the same mold and only the heads are different. I'll try to confirm that after. But first, we focus on the jacket. Here it is. It is actually technically both shirt and suit jacket. Very brightly colored, as mentioned, in red, covered in blue, green, yellow, orange, and purple flowers, paisleys, and random shapes. Once again, it is a very thick, starchy feeling fabric, so it is a bit scratchy sounding. Looks like it's stitched pretty nicely, and I am a fan of the really bright colors. It's obviously quite eye-catching. So far on the back, everything looks like it's stitched in place really well, but just like RM, one of the arms looks like it is sewn on crookedly, but once it's on the doll, it's not really noticeable, so I guess it's not a big deal. Moving on to his pants, they are black pants. They're nice and shiny. And when I checked the inside, the stitching had looked pretty good, so there's not much to comment on there. And it appears as though V's shoes are are the exact same as the ones that RM was wearing, so we don't really need to look at too much there. Basically, they are white high top sneakers with a lot of detail, laces, and stitching, as well as tread on the bottom. Doo-doo, Barbie! Oh gosh. And next, I think we're gonna move on to Sugah. And to be honest, I don't know very much about him other than the fact that he's a lead rapper for BTS and his favorite color is white. And his suit is a very shiny black and yellow, but under the lights it definitely looks gold. Time to check out his face. We're gonna have to move these beautiful crisp bangs out of the way. He looks kind of like the mayor of Whoville right now. I don't know why. His eyebrows are nice and brown and they've got just a bit of an arch toward the end. The eyes themselves are brown and have light brown eyeshadow on top and a darker shadow on the bottom. And just like the last doll, the nose is making me think that we must have a new face mold because this one here is not as wide or defined at the top as any of the others we checked out, which ends up giving Sugah less of an inset eye. If you look very carefully down here, you'll see that there's a bit of an indent or what looks like a paint defect, but it's actually not. If it's showing up correctly, you'd be able to see where this doll's eyes are meant to be painted. And if you don't know what I mean, but you've ever seen a customization video and you've seen the artist remove the makeup from the face using acetone and the shape that's left, that's what I'm referring to. And the same thing goes for Sugah's lips. If I hold it right here, you can see the light pink lip color is traveling upwards and not along the intended mouth line. And would you look at that, we even get a new ear mold. And now we can move on to Sugah's hair. It's got a part straight down the center and is definitely held in by a lot of product, but straight from the box, his hair appears to be the best of the bunch, which includes the cut and style. His scalp is painted brown, and just like the other dolls, there is a ton of rooting, which gives us a really nice full look. Now we'll move on to his suit. It is stitched to the pants, but this time only on one side. Let's take a quick peek and see if it's attached. Aw, it is. No, darn it. So we'll have to take them off as one piece. Once again, we have a super shiny outer jacket, and of course we already know that it's attached to the dress shirt, which is white with a high collar and a bunch of different colored flowers all over it, as well as 4 little white buttons. Overall, the quality and stitching is really nice, and a quick check of the back tells me that nothing is crooked or stitched backwards, upside down, or ironed in a funky position, which is pretty excellent. Moving on to the pants, they obviously match the jacket, and they come apart at the back with just one piece of Velcro, no elastic or anything like that. And the white high top sneakers are identical to the ones that RM was wearing, so there's just tread on the bottom and a bunch of little molded plastic details such as lacing, stitches, and eyelets. Hey ladies, how you doing? I feel like that would have made more sense coming from RM since he loves Friends so much, but oh well. I'm going with it. Alright, what do I know about Jin? He's got the moves of a robot. If my limited BTS knowledge serves me correctly, which it probably doesn't, I believe Jin is a sub-vocalist as well as a visual, which means that they find him pretty good looking and plaster his face on everything, possibly, or not at all. And I believe his favorite color is blue, and it seems as though he's got quite a bit of it on his suit, so he's probably pretty happy. Once again, it looks as though we've got a new face mold here because Jin is pretty slender, and it doesn't look as though any of the dolls in the back have quite as long or thin of a face as Jin does. He's got big, broad brown eyebrows, light brown eyes with a bit of light and dark brown shadow around them. Once again, he's got that same pale complexion with an incredibly fine dusting of blush on the cheeks. So fine, in fact, that it's almost non-existent. He's got a long, thin nose, and he also has big, pouty lips with a bit of a darker shade of pink than the others we've checked out so far. And in this pose here, he kind of just looks angelic. And do we have a different ear again? Oh my gosh. Once again, we have a different ear shape. So I'm pretty confident in saying that this is a completely different face mold. And now we move on to his hair. Which is right, hair. Jin's got some incredibly blonde hair, which is parted down the center, and it reminds me quite a bit of the one we saw on Sugah. In fact, it's pretty much the exact same, but blonde. Now we'll go in to check the scalp, which is painted a light creamy yellow color, and we'll just double check that there is in fact a ton of rooting, and there is, which gives us our nice full look. Now we'll move on to Jin's outfit, which is one of my favorite ones because it is super bright and colorful, but also kind of reminds me of the clothing equivalent to a mullet. Business and suitiness in the front, and a party or comfort in the back. And that's a huge hood. And once again, it's attached by a single thread, and see if it comes apart. Oh, it's stitched in. How would you take that off? The sweater would go over his head and the suit jacket would come off from the back. I was gonna attempt taking it off, but to be honest, it's really difficult. I don't know how they got it on, but it's staying on. Moving down to his abs, we'll take a quick peek, and I can't confirm it because I can't see his arms, but once again, it looks as though it's the same molded body. Move that out of the way. Check his pants. Stitching looks pretty good, and there is no elastic waist. At this point, I don't think there is gonna be, but it's just part of my shtick, so we're going with it. And once again, he is wearing the same high top sneakers as we saw before. So we have tread on the bottom, as well as molded details such as patches, stitches, and lacing. Okay, so I managed to get him to sit in midair, and I didn't think it was gonna work out, but since it did, I'm gonna leave him like this. Although I will lose the hood. I just wanted to see what it looked like. There is lots to doodle do, and Jenny's moving on to Jimin too. And she's singing songs that people don't know. I really like Jimin actually, so I felt he deserved his own song, and I even changed my nail color to match his look. I'm pretty sure he was the last member to join BTS, and his favorite colors are blue and black, which he doesn't appear to be wearing very much of today. The last thing I know about him involves his makeup, so I guess that's as good a segue as any to zoom in on his face. And there it is. So as far as I know, Jimin is very, very shy, and he feels like he is nothing if he's not wearing eyeliner. Like, he doesn't think he can dance or really show off any of his expressions. So I was kind of hoping that they would have a thicker eyeliner than the other dolls had, but it does not appear so. I guess he technically does only on the top to make a thicker lid. Does that count? I guess that's up to you to decide. But what he does have are some really nice sculpted eyebrows, honey brown eyes with some brown eyeshadow underneath them. He's got the same complexion as the other dolls, with the most non-existent blushing on his cheeks ever, but in person you can kind of see it, as well as some nice pale pink full lips. And once again, a different nose, and it appears a bit lower on his face. Ooh, he's got a strong jawbone. And so far I don't think we have anyone with the same ears. Wow, I think I'm way too thorough. Moving on to his hair, the style is quite similar to the one that RM had before I destroyed it, except that it's an entirely different color of dark brown with blonde streaks. The scalp is painted dark brown, and once again we have a full rooted head of hair. Ooh, it's super duper gummy. I know that the product has to be there to make it look nice in the box, but I'm just not a fan of it. Moving on to his suit, his jacket and pants are covered in a pattern of red, blue, and gold, and underneath he's wearing a white dress shirt with a tie, and it's actually kind of cute, and I wonder if I'll be able to take it off. And I guess we're about to find out, because we're gonna snip the little threads that are holding his jacket on, and now we can see if his jacket's attached to his shirt, and it definitely is. Wah wah wah. There's a little elastic around his waist. No, Jimin! Sorry. I guess that was holding his tie down so that it didn't come loose. Can we remove his tie? Yes. Yes, we can. Take that off. Hey ladies, how's it going? Just wearing my tie. Once again, a nice high quality stiff fabric, which has the dress shirt attached. Everything inside looks really great, and everything on the outside looks like it was pressed in the right positions. Give a little check down here. Pants look pretty good, held together by one piece of Velcro. I know you guys are wondering why I'm not taking off the pants. It's just because it takes too much work to take them off just to put them back on, because you can't really flip them inside out very easily. And once again, he is wearing the same white high top sneakers. And by this point, you know exactly what they look like. White soles on the bottom, little details like laces and stitching, and that's about it. I'm your hope. You're my hope. J-Hope. Here is J-Hope. He's got some interesting hair going on. I don't know if that's because it was just squished in the box or if that's how they wanted it to look, but it does not look all that great, that's for sure. He's a main dancer and a lead rapper, plus a sub-vocalist, and his favorite color is green. Ta-da! Which he is wearing. Now let's get down to business and check out his makeup and face. Everything about him seems so tiny and angelic. He's got really nice black eyebrows with a very large thick arch toward the end. His eyes are a nice honey brown with a tiny touch of gray, or at least that's what it looks like to me, and he's got very light brown eyeshadow underneath. And once again, he's got that nice pale complexion with the lightest dusting of blush possible. His nose is long and thin and super defined, which gives him a really nice inset eye and the appearance of high cheekbones. When it comes to his lips, they are light pink and super thin, and they have two little dimples on the sides. And I think his ears are most similar to Jimin's. And now let's check out his super strange hair. It's all black and parted off to the right side so that it's not symmetrical, and we've got some bangs hanging down on both sides in the front with a slight curl. And other than that, it's pretty much the same style as the rest of the group members. And even the cut isn't that bad. The scalp is painted black, and the rooting is just as full as all of the other dolls. He looks like he's staring off into space. Mwah. Now we'll move on to his suit, which has become untucked. Like the majority of the others, his jacket matches his pants, and it is held in place by one thread, and it's gold and green. And now I'll assume his shirt is attached, and it sure is. So let's just take it off. Once again, we have a nice bright stiff crinkly fabric, and the dress shirt is all white with 4 white buttons and a high collar. Checking the attachment points, it all looks pretty fabulous. Pressed in the right spots, not sewn in a weird position. All's well that ends well. And now, having checked out all 7 of the dolls, I feel pretty confident in saying that they all have the same body mold. Once again, the pants are held together with one piece of Velcro, and the stitching along the top looks pretty great. He actually kind of looks a bit like a magician. Moving down to his feet, he is the only other other doll to be wearing white flat sneakers. They've got nice detailed soles on the bottom, as well as straps, laces, and stitching along the sides. Ba-ba! I feel like we had to do something grand so that it's kind of symmetrical. I don't know. V's like, nah, I'm still great over here. You know what? I think I'm gonna mess with it a little bit. Sun goes down and Jen's setting up her BTS dances tonight. Making things up from old songs she likes because nothing else is right. I'm posing all these dolls now. They're falling. I'm so sad. J-Hope's doing something and V just looks real sad. Dropping things. You gotta get low. Oh, can he do the splits? Oh my gosh, he can. Good enough. Okay guys, are you satisfied? Was that video long enough for you, or just way too long? Have I already lost you, or have you fallen asleep? Hopefully not. Hopefully I did it justice and I didn't offend too many of you, because in the end, I actually enjoyed filming that and I learned quite a bit during my little research phase of each group member. So, great job, Jen. Unless all you viewers think I actually did a really terrible job, in which case, Jen, come on. Now, it's quite obvious we reviewed each doll in depth as we went, so I'm just gonna sum this up by reminding you guys that things can always be worse, all right? These are real life human beings being replicated in a doll form, so there's always going to be discrepancies and nothing is gonna be as true to the original as a real life human being. Now, also mentioning that things can always be worse, I'm just going to throw up a picture here of the One Direction dolls, okay? Or perhaps the Spice Girls, NSYNC, Hilary Duff. Heck, they don't even have to be singers. May I remind you of the Beauty and the Beast Emma Watson doll? Basically what I'm saying is, for the mass majority of you guys, you're paying $20 to have one of your favorite singers or K-pop members in a doll form. This is not bad quality at all in my opinion, but you guys know what you wanted from this product more than I do, obviously, so I'm gonna leave it up to you. If you've watched this video and decided, hey, they're not that bad, I thought I wasn't gonna want them, but now I do, well then I sincerely hope you get the one you want, if not the full group. But if you did watch the video and you're like, huh, I was right, they're totally terrible, well then, hey, at least now you know. Which brings me to the end of today's video. If you know somebody who is absolutely in love with BTS or enjoys my videos in general, then please share this one with them. And if you enjoyed it yourself, then please make sure you remember to comment, like, and subscribe. You can let me know down below what you liked or didn't like about the dolls, and also, are they as bad as you initially thought they would be? As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!